So turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.
We're back. We have the Tree app back. We have Dee, who you may know. Dee, how's it going?
Good. Thanks for asking. How are you?
And we have the newest member of the 30-year-old club, Courtney. Courtney, how's it going?
It's good. My body let me know that I'm 30 very quickly.
So, welcome aboard. It's only BC Powder and Ben Gay from here on out. But we're here to recap Yellowjackets. So with that being said, I think I want to pass it to Courtney first because she binged this in like a 7-day span pretty much. So just talk about how you feel about the show, like in general, what you like about it. So yeah, just talk about the show like overall.
I'm traumatized, first of all. I first thought I was going to do this in a weekend, and then I was like, this is too much emotionally. I really like it. It's a lot. I really love the cast. I really love the actors. I think that, to me, is the thing that stands out so far, because, again, I consumed this so quickly. I'm like, oh, okay, this person's in this. This person's in this. I love these people. I never see them in anything, and I think they're doing a great job, and I like the way that they do the storytelling. Of course, this is more like season 1. Season 2 is kind of like a little different so far. Again, it's all blended for me because I consumed it all so quickly together. But yeah, I really enjoy it. It's very mysterious at first. And I don't know if I was able to process it in the way it's meant to be processed because, again, I traumatized myself for 7 days. And all I have to say is I'm surprised Armie Hammer hasn't popped up. That's all.
Yeah, he watched this episode with like a boyish glee, like, I'm sure. But
he's like, this is my representation.
My tribe, my people.
Representation matters.
I feel seen.
I like it. It's a lot. I would not recommend anyone binge it in that short amount of time span. I did it because I'm dedicated.
You are.
Yes.
We're proud of you too. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm talking to my therapist about it though. Anyway.
But yeah, let's get into this episode now, which is entitled, and I'm gonna just go ahead and say this. It's the edible complex. This is the name of this episode. So Dee, let's jump into it. Thoughts about the episode? How are you feeling after watching it? Just general impressions.
I like that they just jumped right in. Season 2, there have been like full out. The only like lull has been surprisingly Lottie. But even that works. You know, it is what it is. But it's full steam ahead. I'm with it. I like it.
Yeah. This episode, I'm actually glad that this episode is more so focused on Ty, because I feel like out of the main cast, she's the one that we see the less of, and I'm glad that we got to focus on her a bit more, in both timelines, the past and the present. So yeah, I'm glad that she's featured heavily in this episode. I guess I want to go ahead and ask the question, because now like one of Courtney's comments is like stuck in my head, and we could jump around a bit. It's our show. We can do what we want. I think we've seen enough now to kind of like make an informed like judgment on like whether or not the supernatural aspect here is true and real, or if it's all like a hallucination because they've been out in the woods for like X amount of months. Courtney, what do you think?
I was going to say, yeah, that was like my whole thing that I really loved about the first season. I was like, so is this PTSD? Are they mentally unwell? Or like, especially with like premonitions, I was like, are these premonitions or are these delusions? Again, I also come from a mental health background, so I'm always like, but this, I'm like, okay, this is supernatural. I dig it. I really dig it. Because I don't know if it was delusions, how far you could go.
Are you 100? So you're 100%. you're 100% sold that it's supernatural.
Season 1, I was leaning more delusions, and now I'm like with this. I'm like, I think it's supernatural at this point. I do like it's kind of like dangled. I like the way that it's dangled. I kind of would maybe like for them to continue to dangle it, but I feel like they've lost the dangle. It's like anyway.
I just saw your name, D.
Oh my bad. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
D's name is Smoked Jackfruit for our listeners.
So if you're listening, the name is Smoked Jackfruit, and it's because I dropped a useless fact for D.
It's your fault.
The prop designers of the show, they recreated Jackie's body using jackfruit. Jackfruit.
The same way.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. One more quick thing I just want to say. I watched the episode and then almost immediately I pulled up Twitter and it was something about an actor had to have a completely reconstructed ear. Like that was the first thing I saw.
Yeah, that's kind of traumatizing.
So anyway, yeah, that was wild.
Ronnie, do you think it's supernatural?
So there are delusions, like we know that. Like,
that's for sure.
Like we know there's a shared delusion here, but now I'm thinking specifically of like two events. First, when we see D and I calls this person light skinned Michael Jackson, but when we see light skinned Michael Jackson in the woods, because you see this person in the opening credits, right? And then like Ty sees this person in the woods when she's like sleepwalking. And then the really weird the really weird scene. We have a special guest today. But the really weird scene where it's almost like Lottie is like, I guess, like connected to Travis while Travis is having sex with Nat. That's such a weird thing. So I do think that. Also, I take that back. Three things. Something in the woods wanted that body to be preserved. What that is, I don't know.
So that's where my mind is at.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Like something was
supernatural is at play. Yeah.
Something's upset. In my mind, from what I take away, a balance has been upset of some sort.
I agree with you guys. It's hard not to think that there's supernatural stuff at play, but I also think they're purposefully making it so that they can write it off too, right? Because not saying that the ice, of course, falling on her body specifically right where it was, that's a huge coincidence. But would her body would it have been okay being that it's already freezing out there?
So here's my thing with that. I think it was a very intentional choice to like have the camera go up and above the tree and then show the snow dropping down from that angle. Like snow could drop anywhere, like in this frozen tundra, but it dropped specifically on Jackie's body.
But could you also say that the snow dropped specifically on Jackie's body because the fire and the smoke went up and melted it and made it fall?
I mean, that's
yeah.
That's plausible. I mean, it's plausible, but I just think the framing of it, like, and once again, this could all be like just like a sleight of hand, but the framing of that particular shot leads you to believe that there was a gust of wind that
specifically.
Yeah.
And I don't deny it. I'm just saying I appreciate the fact that they've written it in a way that it could be either one. That's the thing about it. Because I haven't watched television the same since The Sixth Sense. Like it just changed my whole thought process. That and Saw. So I always try to say, okay, this could be this or this could be this. Not always worked out well for me. So this could be one of those situations where they are blatantly saying, hey girl, we're showing you a supernatural, take it. But I'm like, no, they're trying to trick me. It's not. Everybody's lost their minds because I know from the Book of Eli that people that eat people, their handshake, right? Do they also lose their minds? I would assume.
So basically, there's a biological reason. So like we're evolutionarily made not to eat other people. Like there's a protein in humans that is poisonous to us, especially in the brain. Like in the brain, it will kill you. Because you know how like a lot of things, you know how like plants are poisonous? Like mammals have something like that too. And I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to eat up time. But yeah, so that is a plausible thing, especially the more you eat over time. It is very, like, of course, take away from the moral part, it is very much not good for you to eat. Well, any species actually, it's really bad for them to eat their own species. Like your evolutionary makeup is made against that and to discourage that. So yeah, that's very plausible actually.
Yeah. Also, what's in play for that? Oh, let me quickly say this. Also, because I forget the name of the word. It starts with a K, and I don't want to Google it because I don't want the FBI and Army Hammer at my door. But yeah,
Army will
cannibalism. It's a word that starts with a K, but cannibalism can lead to something that basically like drives you to madness, which explains the actions of most of our characters in like the present day, because we all know that they are not the best. But yeah, go ahead.
My question was going to be: was Ty sleepwalking before the crash, or was that a byproduct?
I'm led to believe that she was, but of course that stimuli probably made it like 10 times worse, like being getting deserted in the woods.
Post-traumatic stress can.
I'm only asking because we already know that Lottie was already on her spiritual healing, thing before the crash. So that's not something that she added on. But it seems like all of them, not all of them, but they kind of all had something before they crashed, other than Jackie. But Shauna was pregnant. Ty sleeps walking. Misty is Misty. Nat. Nat has emotional damage, right? From home. And I'm assuming Travis does too, or not. I can't really understand Travis. It feels like
kind of link created both supernatural and they all were set up. Because I like watching this, I was like, there's a reason. I'm like, as I got on, I was like, something like it. The plane, I'm like, I started to think like the plane crash was not an accident.
But that also kind of like the girl who,
because I was the
girl who didn't go though, wasn't she like perfect?
Because
the one that got hurt.
You actually uncovered like and I will say for this season, I was heavy on season one,
but such a short time period. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been off it this season because I just want to enjoy the ride. But season one, I was on it heavy. You uncovered a very, very, very popular Reddit theory that the plane was rigged to go down.
So is there like always this spiritual trope though that's like people that are like most vulnerable, especially like in cults and stuff, like they go after the most vulnerable ones. So everyone was vulnerable in some way. Is my mindset.
Okay, so that works. And I tried to dismiss that because I also watched The Wilds. I don't know if y'all watched I'm sure you didn't watch The Wilds, but The Wilds is a show on Amazon Prime where girls went on this plane and it intentionally crashed because it was an experiment. It was a social experiment. And they were watching the girls and trying to see how they would, it's kind of like a Lord of the Flies type situation. But with this, the only thing that would be odd to me about the plane crashing and having these people is that it would seem like you would have to still decide who goes on the trip. And that means you had to set this up from birth because all of them play soccer. But, like the whole, like the soccer team is there and it could. I mean, like you said, it could.
Because Midsummer is kind of like they had prepped. There was this idea that they had prepped her to go on this trip. And then there's this idea to put her in that vulnerable trauma state that they murder her family.
Yeah. So
that's where my brain is leading.
So that's actually is
that the theory too?
Yeah, that they were almost destined to be there. That like if it all right. So there are two theories. Theory one, which is like Lottie's parents just like, let's get rid of this craziness girl. But the most popular one is like they were destined to be there. And when they flew off that particular area because of like the spirits or whatever are in there, it's like it was almost they like were drawn there. Because same with Laura
like
Lee.
almost like just a gravity down, yeah.
Same with Laura Lee. When she tried to leave, she wasn't allowed to leave. So no one is allowed to leave unless yeah.
I could handle destiny more so than it being orchestrated by somebody.
What shitty parents? Like, I've got to take down this.
She's weird. Let's kill her. Yes.
Yeah. Come on, that's terrible.
Yes. I mean, they had the means and the money, so yeah. I guess. Right, but I don't know. Would you like it better either way? Would you like it better if it were supernatural, or would you like it if it were just like the idea or the whole thing more if it just is them? Just like
both so far.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this though. They're getting to the point where they're laying it on a little too thick for it to not be supernatural. Like they're starting like it's not a coincidence anymore. Like they are like intentionally showing us like the symbols on the trees and intentionally showing us almost like this like we in season 1 we had like a seance type deal. Like they're showing us too much for it to not be that. Like, and true enough, like when you're in a situation like you have like these shared delusions to like kind of give you a reason to keep going and like keep living, but they're doing like they're showing us way too much for it not to be supernatural now.
You want to know my mental theory?
I can explain it all the way.
Go ahead.
There's this cult, right? And I think they all have like historical lineage to this cult, and that they matter. So in a way, it's destiny planned, but also it's a little bit of social engineering by certain cult members to get this to come to fruition. That's what I'm at. Maybe I watched too much A24 movies. But like there's just so many, that's such a popular trope lately of like these misfortunes are actually because your great grandparents promised something.
Like Lovecraft?
Kind of in a way. I mean, like that's just a very popular trope lately. That's my personal that's what I think right now.
Yeah, I buy it because like I talked about this during the recaps of season 1. Like I believe there's like, and I'm not even talking about like light skinned Michael Jackson at this point. Like I seriously believe there are like other people
know what you're talking about.
Like out there.
So you think light skinned Michael Jackson exists for real and she just didn't imagine it?
I mean, this is the second time we've seen that, which is like, come on, like that's a little like too in our face. And the fact that we've like for the first time seen this person in the episode, and not to mention, like there's a guy in the opening credits of season 1. You think it's like Coach Ben. It's like a guy like in the cabin and he's just like in like the closet. There's somebody else out there. Yeah. I think they call him like the Frenchman or whatever, but there's somebody like there's like other people like actually out there.
I forgot about him.
I just want to know what's the end result? Like what's the ulterior motive? Like that's what I'm like, I need to like, that's what's kind of got my curiosity piqued right now. I'm like, what's the end goal here?
Right.
I'm very curious.
That's why I would like it more. I'm more of a fan of psychological thrillers than I am actual supernatural. So I would like it more if it's actually not supernatural. Like this stuff appears to be one way, but this is really just y'all's minds legit playing tricks on you. And everything can be explained away. That's why I'm so determined to do it, I guess.
I mean, that could still be like social engineering. Like the cult thinks this deity exists, but they're tired of waiting, and they put these parts into play. That's also a trope that exists.
I mean, or it could actually exist. I mean, it could be. I'm not counted out. It very well could be. You know what you guys are thinking. I mean, I wouldn't say what you guys, because there's a part of me that does believe it's supernatural too. And like you said, it could be both. It could be a bit supernatural and the delusion. So like, even if they weren't sent there, the crash happened and then something happened. And so now it's a supernatural thing. You know what I mean? So
I wonder if they're going to play on Wendigo. Do y'all know what Wendigo is?
Mm-mm.
Like a Wendigo spirit? So
I've heard of it.
There's different versions of it in all different types of Native American folklore. This is where a little bit of heritage comes in. So there's a little bit of in folklore. What part of the country are they in again?
They're actually like close to like Vancouver.
So that's a place where the Wendigo folklore is very strong. So basically, it's if you eat human flesh, you get possessed by what's called a Wendigo spirit, and then it's just like this very infectious spirit. So I'm wondering if and this is my mind going, if like this cult worships the spirit, and then maybe set forth the tables for this to, the Army Hammer action to be taking place to incite the Wendigo spirit.
Yeah.
Because it's a very popular trope again lately too. And especially if you're telling me it's in British Columbia.
Yeah. Like, no, that I buy that.
Like, look it up. Y'all look it up. I'm almost determined. I hope they do it right.
I mean, I'm not gonna look it up tonight. I'll check out it tomorrow.
Got enough homework.
Because you're gonna end up just as paranoid about me about everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like,
I'm just riding. I'm just floating.
But yeah, let's spend some time to jump into the episode now because we talked previously about the I mean, she has a right to be annoying, but she's annoying nonetheless. Shauna's daughter, but I think this is like going to be the thing that actually, like, in a weird way, makes them closer because she like takes up for Shauna when the detective shows up, but at the same time, yeah. So basically, what do you think about? I guess the detective now knowing that Shauna is a person of interest in this case.
Can I add one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
I forgot, or I didn't know. I didn't realize she was an adult, right? Like I just
I thought she was a teenager. Yeah,
I thought she was in high school. She's a grown ass woman. I just didn't realize it until today when she's at the bar and she's like, I left school, and I'm like, wait, you're grown acting like this? You're an adult, so it's even more weird now. And of course, I'm like, wait a minute, is she 25? But she's not.
I'm like, she's not 25.
She's not 25.
Like 20, 21 at best. Yeah.
She's like, yeah, at best. She's probably like, what, 22?
She's like an adult, but a new adult.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So Shauna came home and then pretty much got pregnant again, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess 4 years or so. That's time because she probably came home and got married and then had the baby. Mm-hmm. But it seems like she just came and had another baby, which isn't too far fetched because we still don't know what happened to the other baby. Who knows? Could have been whatever else. But her daughter is just mean. It just seems like she's very mean. And I asked this before. I don't know if it's because Shauna's a shitty mom or she just is just unhappy, because I even said it was teenage angst because I thought this girl was a child, but it's not because she is an adult and she's just it's just regular old angst. And I don't know. I wish I could figure out what it was, because usually it kind of like you kind of shed it by the time you get out of high school, right? You grow into it and you're like, okay, mama's no mama. I understand her. And I guess she's one of them. Like, does she just like her dad better or something? What is it?
I gotta say this. I feel like
she would be hanging out in Taco Bell parking lots.
Yeah.
Yes. Doing funerals for the Baja Blast. But no, I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this is like a continuity error because they definitely wrote her like she was a teenager in the first season. And when she's in the bar, I'm like, what the hell she's doing in the bar? And then she's like, yeah, I'm a senior at Rutgers. I was like, what the hell happened?
I thought I was tripping. It's almost like Power when all of a sudden the kids were twins. And I was like, how do everybody miss that they were twins until right now? It's like that. I'm like, I thought this girl was in high school. I did. And if I missed it, my bad. I'm willing to accept it. I just don't think I did. And they either didn't tell us or they're now like, oh yeah, by the way, nobody knows how old this girl is. Let's make it clear.
That makes her even more annoying. But
more. Like, go live somewhere else. You don't even have to live here. You're grown. What are you doing?
So
I don't know. But anyway,
what do you think they have on Shauna so far?
her being a dirty
Like
liar,
the techno
because
days, in a sense.
that's what. But my thing was like, I'm not a person that says cooperate with the police, right? Like, I get that you say, but if you're going to say anything, don't lie. I don't lie. Say nothing at all.
Don't lie. Yeah.
Or say lawyer, or tell the truth. But don't lie, because they're gonna use that against you. Yeah. So you now first, you don't know him. Oh, we had a fender bender. Oh, we did text a few times. Like, they're never gonna tell you what they have, because they usually don't have anything. But you giving them more isn't helping you at all. So I'm wondering what was in the text, because a lot of them were like them meeting up, right? Or no?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, meeting up at the place where they jumped in the water, and like setting up dates and all that stuff. So if nothing else, they know that they were having some sort of rendezvous.
Something. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. But I think, of course, like Matt, the undercover guy, like he said, the reason that they're not all over is because he's trying to protect her. What's his name? Kevin? He's trying to protect her. Because, any police worth their salt will be like, yeah, bring her in at least, because she's lying, first of all. She definitely knows him. And I'm assuming they don't know about his studio, the police?
I don't think so.
I don't think they've made it there yet, but surely they will, because...
Probably shortly soon.
Yeah.
Where are his people? He said he didn't have family? Did he say he didn't have family?
So
am I making it up?
So I'm not gonna lie, like Drew from Search Party, the detective, I thought that was going to be his brother, because apparently Adam does have a brother, but his brother says I think they say he stays like upstate or something. I don't know.
Okay, because I would assume his brother knows he has a studio, so eventually somebody's going to come and like try to gather his effects and all of that stuff, and say, okay, well, what about the studio, or what about, or anything like that is artwork. And I'm sure Shauna and what's his name, Jeff. Is that her husband, Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff. Yeah.
They cleaned it up, right? But I'm pretty sure they left something, because...
I mean, semen, because they had sex in the studio. Like
you king shaming. You king shaming. Sound like you king shaming. That's probably the dumbest thing I've seen, though. Seriously, I mean, I'm like, this is not the time, nor the place. Absolutely not the place.
I was just like...
Not the place. Like... This is a dead man studio.
Like, it's not even in the car. Like, you can't wait till they get to the car.
What about a dead man studio with your pictures posted all over the place? Got you hot and bothered, Shauna. Y'all, she is...
I mean, it shows she's a terrible person. She's a very... I mean, and hey, let your freak flag fly. I'm all for it. But, like, that is just
I cannot abide. No, not this time. No, I'm sorry. Because it was like it was some serious cognitive dissonance, because we weren't anywhere near that. Because when he was looking at the pictures, I think she was just like, I've always thought about you being with somebody else, and all of that mess. And I know it ties in because she was cheating on him, but I'm like, what how did we get here?
Here and now.
Yeah, like, right. But I don't know. It, like you said, it proves she's a bad person. And I'm wondering what, like you said, how that's going to go as far as her daughter goes.
Like the crime scene investigator, and you see like semen on the floor.
Yeah, like, whoa, what's this?
Like, you do like your little purple light, and you're like,
maybe she's pregnant again. Mm-hmm. She saved it all.
It's a little fresh, and then you find out it's like not that. Yeah, and it's like a different, and it's like.
Maybe she took it with her.
Wouldn't surprise me. That's right.
Why do I feel like she is going to end up being pregnant? Yeah, but anyway, let's transition to another terrible person. Ty, Courtney, did you know that? Like, so when her son Sam walked in, did you think that was really Sam, or did you think that was a delusion? The part where Thaisa's son walks into the apartment and he has the dog. Did you think like that actually happened, or like did you say like?
I kind of thought it was a delusion.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, she's just or at least maybe I was hoping.
Mm-hmm. They got me.
No,
I don't know.
I figured it was only because she was like slamming down those Americanos like right before, and I knew that she was like she was jacked on coffee. So
I'm
like,
talking about shots. I mean,
Right.
it was a lot of
like,
coffee.
That's probably like my health care. I'm like, this is not healthy. Like you can go to cardiac arrest.
That's the
But you
same
can't have
thing
a
I
delusion if
said.
you have too much caffeine.
I said she's
can't
gonna
even
have a
have
heart attack. But they made it a point to show us that she drained the entire pot, like the whole thing. So
I know that actually happened to someone from my high school. They went into cardiac arrest.
Yeah. I sent a message to Rennie and said she's gonna have a heart attack.
What was gonna happen? I thought she was gonna have a heart attack.
I don't think she's gonna die though. Like she's one of like evil.
Like you can
doesn't die
have it going to cardiac arrest.
Yeah. I mean, not that true. Her son, it didn't. Now looking back at it, of course, it makes perfect sense that it was illusion because he didn't. Running. You said walked in the room, but that's what made me think about it. He didn't walk in the room. He was just there.
He was there.
She walked there. And he was just there. So it's not like he came to the house.
Like delusions, like dreams.
That should have set me off.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like think about like dreams, like how like things don't make sense. Like it's never truly not true interactions. It's just like a bunch of props. So that's like how you can usually spot something.
Yeah,
as a
she's
person
like dreaming
who said the world, my television changed with the Sixth Sense. That should have been the first thing I thought about. He's not there.
All right, so lightning round. Lottie, do you believe Lottie's story about Travis?
No.
Okay.
I believe parts of it. I believe that is what happened, but I don't believe that is the reason it happened.
Has truth.
Yeah.
The good lie always has some truth.
See, I'm the outlier here only because like Lottie is like crazy as hell, like from the jump, and she saw like the part where like we're seeing her as like the main character of the scene, and she sees Laura Lee. So like that was an interesting thing too, because if I'm not mistaken, she doesn't mention that to Nat. But like we see it from like Lottie's perspective, so like it might be true, but just not in the way that she thinks, because Lottie is crazy as hell.
I think it happened, and I think Lottie is actually convinced herself that is how it happened. In her mind, that is what happened. I don't think that's what actually happened though. The circumstances outside.
I think that she thinks that she's telling the truth. I think that she thinks that she's telling the truth, but her truth is not the truth.
So let me point this out too. It might be misdirection, but they made it a point to like introduce us to like Lottie and Travis's connection in this episode. Their little spiritual bond thing. So obviously they have like something that other people wouldn't understand, because Travis says like, "Hey, I want to see it again."
It's like a spiritual connection. Yeah. Okay.
Or cocaine.
Okay. But that's what
I was just saying,
or LSD or something. Yeah. But that makes me think, like you said, that she's not telling the truth about the whole setup. Right? Like he may have said, "I want to see it again," and she may be the one that said, "Well, hang yourself, and then I'll pull you down as soon as you go unconscious." And she just didn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this is how it happened. He did get on the thing. He did do it to himself. He tied himself up there, and then she's the one that lifted him up. But I think that may have been her saying, "Hey, you do this, and then I'll lift you up," and then he's like, "Okay, well, just let me down when I go unconscious." But that's not what happened. She was just like, "Oh, well, just die." Yeah. And in her mind, she's thinking that the button is broken. But instead of her pushing the button to let him down, she's raising him up, convincing herself that it's broken. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. When we first see
delusions are happening, whether it's supernatural or not. And I think it's like, but are the delusions natural, or is something causing these delusions?
Yeah, I was just gonna quickly say, when I saw Lottie for the first time this episode, I thought about that clip of that Kevin Gates song that's been going around, where he talks about he mixed the maca with the ashwagandha. I mixed the maca with the ashwagandha, because she was like, She's like, is this maca? Is this macaroon? But
That's not what I know we got to wrap it up. Do you think Money? Oh, what is her name? Monica. Money. Sam's mother, Thais' wife. Did she survive? Think she survived? That was a pretty hard. I mean, she
took the brunt of the hit. So
yeah, and I mean, full on T-bone.
It's going to be. I think
she's going to have to stay.
Fundamentally, not the same.
Mm-hmm.
She either didn't make it, or now Sam's going to have to be with Ty because she's not going to be able to take care of him.
So I think she does make it because I feel like I feel like because of course like if she were to survive and like make it out of the coma that she likely has, I think it would serve as a better like plot device for her to say like, okay, Ty, I threatened you, but I'm really gonna put your shit out there now. You crazy as hell. So I feel like she has to survive almost for like a storytelling device. It would be kind of shitty if they killed her off.
That she survives.
Yeah.
I hope she didn't die. She doesn't deserve. Well, nobody.
At the end of the season, like she wakes up.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be fucked up if she was like in a coma and started like astral projecting into people's delusions?
I mean, yeah.
So we don't have enough to worry about now.
I can see it from the show.
I can, yeah. I can see it.
Is that everybody? Oh, you got to get Misty right quick.
Oh yeah, Misty. So we need to see a good friend of mine that has figured Misty out. Elijah Wood is the secret Redditor who has been going back and forth with Misty. He figured her out somehow, so he's going to come into the fold now, and we'll get to see him and Misty working together to trying to figure out like where Nat is, but also figure out so it's almost like she's like investigating him as he's investigating this crime because she wants to know like how he's able to figure out these things about Adam's disappearance. So that's going to be a good twist on the show. Also, just going to say this now, RIP to your character, Elijah Wood, because Misty is going to kill him. So
absolutely, 100%.
Putting that out there.
I enjoy his presence while it lasts. Absolutely,
100%. She is totally going to kill him. Like that is going to happen. She's going to kill him
brutally, probably
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Even though she's enamored by him, she's going to be sorry. She's going to say sorry. I still got to do this, and then like just stab him.
I think Coach is going to die next, maybe because it doesn't look like he's into the eating people thing. So I think he's next.
Yeah, I think
and then the girls. Yeah, it's going to be Coach next and then the girls.
They are going to like rotisserie Coach.
He's going to be like roast pig.
Yeah.
Coach is next and then the girls.
On the menu tonight.
Yeah, I will say that was I guess the cutting between like this very like Roman like kind of like bacchanal like feast they were having and the feast of like yeah, and then Coach like slamming the door. That was such a good shot because I think he was like, "Hey, like just yesterday we were talking about like we got upset about shit in a pot, but today here we are." So like he was like, "We've gone too far," and yeah, it's gonna be interesting seeing the dynamic now. And naturally, he's out of here. He's up next. Like
he's next. He's next because he's not going to eat anything. I think he's going to die because he's not going to eat.
Menu.
Yeah, and once he dies, they're like, well, he's dead. So,
he's a choice. Half of that leg is already gone.
Come on.
Sorry, but we will stop here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. Join us, next week as we uncover this mystery. Until next time.
Peace.
Bye.